Book 1, Bazur's Plot, Chapter 61, Bazur's Cottage. We all followed in quite a speed behind Deepclaw. He was flying probably at his top speed. I could see Capritors flashing on both sides with their bows ready in their hands to shoot if needed. That looked quite handy to have now 2 hands and 4 legs. To be able to run fast and still do precise shooting on hands. Myriads were riding with barracks super fast. They were already running on Deepclaw's sides and going past him. That was a lot. We saw a small rickety shack by the ocean. I got a feeling that the shack did hate us coming there. Can that be? I was still thinking about it when I could no longer see the shack. And somehow the place where the shack was looking now happy. I don't know if I'm imagining this. 3 myriads were already there, and the moorbears stayed a little bit further away, giving space for them to work on. We had agreed that myriads will go first to every situation regarding Bazur. I kept looking everywhere, but I could not see the shack. It was not there. I just saw it. The myriads asked barracks to go a little bit further away too, and all 3 started to do some kind of spells. After a while, I pushed little Garnock's neck so that he would go forward toward where the shack was. I felt that I needed to go there. Garnock clearly did not want to go, but did start to slowly walk there. Myriad saw Garnock coming and knew I was invisible on top of him, but said nothing. They continued doing their spells. So Garnock changed his pace to more frisk and half run to the area where the others were. I slid off Garnock and I started walking around. I took my cape off since I don't think I need it anymore. There was something here living. I saw 3 small stones beside where the shack was before it disappeared, and I started to uncurse them. 3 teenagers looking like elves were uncovered. I gave them medicine from my pouch and to better awaken them. Garnock came beside me and I helped them on his back. I climbed after them, holding on to Garnock and the 3 elves too. I said to others, I feel there's nobody else here. Myriads asked us to go further away and wait by the certain trees. And so we did. Eirik said, we will create a magic bond here, that Bazur cannot return to here and cannot unveil his cottage he has made disappear by magic. So we also, while we were waiting and watching myriads to do the magic bond, I could see a couple of Fume folks gliding behind the trees. Obviously, they showed us they were there. One cannot see Fume folks if they don't want to be seen. They would report back to the palace already what had happened. After a while, myriads returned, and Svala said, I think it's better if we return to Whisper Willow village to see what is going on and to decide what we do now. Others nodded, and we returned fast. Deepclaw was leading with Tara and Dora riding on him. But since all creatures here in Myria are fast, it was just a moment, and we could see the Whisper Willow village in front of us. This felt that we did not complete our mission, at least to me. Bazur had disappeared. I really did not understand how either. I'm sure we will have a meeting soon and discuss things, so maybe that would give me some more clarity. We arrived to the Whisper Willow village, and I helped the 3 teenagers down from Garnock and guided them toward the medical elves. Eloven ran to us and screamed, My babies, you are alive! I stared at her and felt stunned. Her babies? Well, 11 was not a youngling, but we never actually talked about if she had kids. Sylvessa was behind her and explained, well, it is actually 2 of her kids and 1 of her sisters. Her sister died in an accident, not by Bazur, but in an unfortunate accident. So 11 took her kid too. So technically not all hers, but you get the point. I nodded. It was 11's turn now to be extremely happy. I guess she thought that she would not see them anymore. All of us started to go around the village, which had clearly had a food delivery already, and checked if anyone needed any help or something. After going full around, we ended up going to get food. After I went full round, I ended up getting food for myself, and I saw the rescue crew gathering to the west side of the village. So I headed there. There was quite a lot of Capricorns also eating. Still not everyone. I assumed they still kept scouting for Bazur to alert us if needed. But they also had come to hear what is now the common understanding of what happened, and are we now safe? And where did Bazur go? Everyone just sat there for a while and ate. It had been a very hard day. At the same time, very successful. For our account, all Bazur's cursed army was awakened. Eirik started to talk. So what we think where he went is that he has magic traveled to Earth, the place where Sarah and Jack are from. I looked at Jack and thought, oh no, we have so many villains on Earth already. Then again, what is one more evil? I decided that this comment was not worth saying aloud. Svala continued. I was closest to him when he started to swinging the wand, and I heard part of his spell. It sounded like he had figured out a way to magic travel between and in Myria and his cottage. So that is when Deepclaw came and said he knew where the cottage was. So when we went there, I think all of you did see the cottage was there, and then it disappeared, right? Folks nodded to that. Eirik started to talk now. Since he had tied his magic traveling to his cottage in Myria, we think he had not thought how to use that as an anchor, or will that work as an anchor? So we think that he first magic traveled to his cottage, and right when we were arriving, he magic traveled to your world, to the Earth. And his anchor was the cottage that he made invisible when he's not there himself. Eirik looked very old. He was still all white as ghost, and that may be having even more effect on looking old and weary. Thrain continued putting his hand to Eirik's shoulder to give him support. So when we checked his cottage land, it had some magic that Eirik recognizes that when he was a young boy here in Myria, which is quite a long time ago, there was this old ancestor of ours who did travel between Earth and Myria, like Bazur now likely did. And there were some traces of that magic. So what it seems to be is that Bazur has found the notes or the magic book, and he has figured out how to read that old language. It was written on Old Earth language. Thrain paused for a moment and continued. So, we did stop him coming back to his cottage. Bazur made mistake using his cottage as an anchor and also making it disappear when he's not there. We all 3 made our unique blockers so that he's not able to make his cottage visible, and when it is not visible, he's not able to use it as his magic anchor. So for now, he should not be able to come back. We cannot know for sure if this will work forever, but for now, he does not have a way back. Everyone's just stared at the myriads. We were all observing their words and thinking what this meant. I was thinking, can we trust this? Is Myria safe? Is it safe for now? Dora stood up and bowed to myriads and said to others, from bottom of my heart, thank you from me and from White Goddess. Myria may not be Bazur free forever, but right now he cannot return to his cottage an easy way. So he has to figure out a new way. He has to figure out a way to come through portals. And those are governed by White Goddess. So basically, he should not be able to return through them at all. Time will tell if he left a way to come back as a backup. I doubt it, since he's very arrogant. But I have a feeling that this is not the end of Bazur. But for now, we can say to Myria folks, he's not here. I looked at Jack and it felt unreal. We had done it. We had uncursed so many Myria folks and returned them home. Also, we had uncursed all Bazur army creatures. That reminded me of something, and I said, Dora, I assume there are still areas we would need to scan, like from here to Bazur's cottage trail, and are there other villages or trails to be checked? Dora nodded. Yes, there are actually 2 villages and trails toward them. We will get to that tomorrow morning, and we will return to the palace for the evening, since all are invited for celebration. White Goddess is throwing an old type of party for all Myria folks. Oh, that reminds me, I need to talk to the creatures here too that we were rescued. Dora got up and walked in the middle of the village. He was without any cape now and shining white light around him, just like White Goddess, and he spoke. Hello, all Myria folks. You have been rescued from an evil curse, and you are still obviously recovering. We will rest here until morning, and you will be helped to the boats to go to White Goddess's palace starting tomorrow morning. In the evening there will be a celebration, since Bazur has fled Myria. We are free now. Your own tribes may not be anymore where you were abducted. So in the palace celebration, you can first of all meet your tribe and then go back home with them. That home can be the hiding home they have been hiding or your old home. It is safe now to return to the original villages or stay in new area. White Goddess and I, we will see that these white magic wizards and witches, myriads, that what can be done to increase the security for the future. But for now, Bazur has fled Myria, and his return channel is blocked. And White Goddess does govern all Myria portals, so they are not the way for him either. You are free to return with your tribe to your chosen home after the celebration. The creatures did not seem to understand, but it was a lot to hear that they had been the Bazur's army bringing terror to anyone in Myria. And then to be let know they are now awakened from the curse and Bazur has fled the Myria. Dora was clearly not expecting any comments, but just continued to Eleven and her kids and asked, "Do you wish to return through the tunnels today? I was thinking Sylvessa and you with the kiddos could return now. Eloven looked at her with tears in her eyes and nodded. Tora called Sylvessa in and explained if she would return with the kids and Eloven, so that would be making it more safe to return. Of course they were coming to tomorrow's evening celebration in the palace, so it would be short goodbye. Sylvessa looked at Tora and was quiet for a while, and then nodded and said, I know why you proposed this. Yes, it would be good. I would like to return to my fiancé too now. Garnock that had heard the discussion and came jogging by them and asked, Do you want a lift? I assume there is at least one tunnel here on the 6th wood too. Sylvester smiled at him and said jokingly, Well, of course there is. We have tunnels everywhere. But actually, we will not need transport. We will just go on foot. Garnock smiled. Oh, so close. Go ahead, miladies. I hope I see you tomorrow. Eloven and Sylvester nodded and smiled. Those elf teens were clearly not yet on top of things, so they just stared. They took off toward the forest and disappeared in a moment. Suddenly I noticed the sun was actually starting to set. I did feel tired. It was time to sleep. And tomorrow there will be last scans and then also an evening celebration. That was amazing. Tara handed me my hammock and I went to set it up by nearby trees. I saw Jack doing the same for him. Jack, I said, are you all right? It was a bizarre day. You were impressive by those uncursings on that army folks today. Jack looked pleased. Thank you. They were coming so fast. I replied, I know. I was laying almost on the trail under a bush. That helped me to catch the first ones. I was struggling since there were so many of them, until you started to pick up the speed and they came in front of me awakened already. Jack looked bothered. Yes, Stonehide and I had trouble finding place to hide us. We are not small, either of us. Finally, I left him further away and our army crawled closer. You gave me the idea from meeting Bazur yesterday. Then I could crawl close enough that I could get them uncursed. I looked at him smiling. It clearly worked. How are you doing otherwise? Jack looked at me. I would have wanted to come to Bazur's cottage, but hearing now that he just fled, I was definitely more useful here. I helped with Stonehide to medicate these army creatures and to keep them calm too. Otherwise, I feel good. I feel that we really did help Myria folks a lot. I smiled again. I hear you. I have loved these days here. I feel helping them is truly a blessing. Jack nodded. Yes, definitely a blessing. Good night. I hear we still have some work tomorrow and celebration too. I smiled and said, Yes, we do. Good night. That was today's chapter. Please leave a comment. What did you think about this chapter? And is there something puzzling your mind? What would you have thought happens at the Bazur's cottage? And come back for next chapter. Bye for now.